Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday. Beginning at 1 p.m. Central, as I get to ride on with you in the afternoon. You can find us on the radio at iacradio.media, where we are Fox News affiliates. By the way, we're airing Christmas music 24/7. You can also find us on television, Channel 182 Charter, as well as Abundant Television Syndicated, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast now, the Newscasters.com. And continue sending email. I treasure every one of them. Donna@donnasedge.com. That's Donna@donnasedge.com. Excuse my raspy voice. Phil says keep the raspy voice, but I want you to feel better. So anyway, you're hearing a new Donna. I'd like to kind of keep the voice. I kind of like it. I dig it. So I don't know, but I want to feel good too. So you know what I mean.
100%.
I've got Victoria Lee Scott with me right now. She's a brainchild right there, and she's behind the Newscasters studio. Man, every time I turn around, new people are coming in. What's going on?
Isn't it fantastic? We are giving a voice. We are uniting voices across this country, and that's what it's about. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's face it. You know, it's really interesting, Donna, because I've watched so many people now. You and I have been doing this for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And we knew way back when that this was the way to go. I know I was doing podcasting before there was an even word podcasting. Mm-hmm. And people... Mm-hmm. Are you still doing that radio thing?
Yeah,
I'm still doing that radio thing. Mm-hmm. Now it's a podcast. Yeah. So it's been an interesting journey. But yes, there are people that have so much they want to share, because I do believe that people have, you know, they come to share their strength, their hope, and their experiences. Mm-hmm. And in that, we have a generation such as you and I that has experienced so much in this country, from the way we were raised to the way we are watching grandchildren being raised. Mm-hmm. It's a big difference. And I do believe that we have a responsibility. I think that we have allowed, we've, you know, the best, just like the Roman Empire, you know, they gave them the Colosseums and all of that, and it distracted the people. Well, it's no different with American Idol and how we have been distracted with internet and TikTok and Snap and everything else that we have. Mm-hmm. But the point is that we need to get back to our focus, and media itself. I mean, you have to be a complete idiot if you cannot see the propaganda that has been shoved at us during this last administration. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's face it, we've known this has happened for quite a while, but look what has happened to an elected president. Are you kidding me? I mean, really, so the point is that people, the more we're starting to understand and realize how much we, the people, have given up our control of our country. That is why I think so many people, Donald Trump said it with this last election. He said, we have to make it too big to rig. And mm-hmm. we did. Mm-hmm. That's just what we needed. We didn't need sidelined anything. And the greatest thing was, Donna, the greatest thing of all to me is that they paid millions and millions of dollars before this election to put into Kamala, who wasn't even a valued candidate to begin with. And Donald Trump just went out there with the people. I mean, he had the most social media free advertising. And that's what real freedom is. That's what I'm saying. We're sitting here and allowing, literally, let's look at the last election. We allowed these tech giants to suppress the American people, our voice, what we want to watch. We've watched this happen to us. So my point in building the Newscaster studio, along with some wonderful people who felt the same way that I felt, that it was time to unite some voices, not just with only a 2-minute segment, but with segments enough that we can experience and talk about some issues that really need a little bit more light than just like tonight in the headline news we have, and you get 2 minutes of bam, 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 and that's it. You know, or now they're shoving so many people on a panel that everybody's talking over one another. So you're still not getting the information correctly that we need, because they are bringing a lot of good voices. But when you got 6 people on a panel, yeah, okay, I'm getting that info. Not really. So the Newscasters studio is a place that we, the people, whether you are a citizen journalist, whether you are no matter who you are. I mean, I'm reaching out to everybody and ordering a platform because we own network. So we're not suppressing the American voice. We like both sides. What we're trying to do is open up dialogue. I went to college starting in 2019, and I have a 27-year-old daughter, and I've owned a salon for 30 years doing young people's hair. My point is I came to realize, and that's why I knew I was meant to go back to college when I did during COVID, because I started to realize that these children who are now young adults in college have been given only 1/2 of America's history. 1/2. Up until their college, they've only been given 1/2 of this history. And I came to realize that what we were seeing on our college campuses with the violence and everything, which kudos to Charlie Kirk, because he has changed our youth in college. He really has given them another voice. But my point is, reality came to me that it said, if we lose the art of debate, the only thing we're going to be left with is violence. And that struck such a chord in me that was when, I've got to keep moving with Newscasters, because we need to reopen the art of debate. I don't care what side. If you have a topic, let's talk about it. But don't come and use language and try to belittle. No, let's talk about an issue. You feel like this, tell me why you feel like this. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like that, and I can tell you exactly why I don't feel like that. But you are not going to tell me, because I tell you I don't feel the way that you do, that you have a right to badger me, to label me, to judge me, and to some points to slander me. Mm-hmm. Not acceptable. So we need to get back to debating what it is that we as a people, we are not, we against them has got to stop, and even
stop. Let me ask you another question, because marriages don't work without, I'm not talking about arguing and fussing. I'm talking about discussions, where there's no communication. A marriage is going to fail. Where there's no communications, whatever you're doing in life is going to fail. If you have employees and you don't communicate to them what their responsibilities are, you're going to fail as a business. So as a country, we have to be able to talk.
And that's it. But that's what the hard part, and that's why what we need is what's happening right now, Donna. You cannot begin to talk when lies are on the table. You see, it's got to come to a point where both sides are willing. Do you know what I'm saying? Because let's face it, when Obamacare came in and they took that 2,700 paid bill, there should have been at least one Republican that stood up, dropped the bill, and exited stage left. But they didn't. They all sat down, because that showed me, just like in Lawrence's book, they all had their dirty little fingers in the pie. So they sat down and shut up and accepted everything. Did you read when all going around in Congress? Did you read all about that? And everybody gets their fair share. He knew exactly. Lawrence has been gone almost a decade this year coming up. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, before he passed away, I took every penny I had to make sure that you could hold that book in your hand, that he was a published author, because he was a great American. He served in the Army and in the Navy, one of the few special forces that worked between both forms of service. He was special forces, and he was of value to this country, and he loved this country. And it was my pleasure and my honor to do with him, to make sure, as he laid in a bed dying, that I made sure that book was finished and published for him. Because he really did have something to say, Donna. Okay,
let's encourage folks to please buy this book. It's really important you do that, because if you're looking for something with a common sense approach, something's just okay, Trump got in by a landslide. You know why? Because he has a common sense approach. And it's just, it's either black or it's either white. There's no in betweens. You just go straight down the middle. And that's what we're all looking for. This book is written with a common sense approach.
Exactly. It was really interesting because Lawrence self-educated. He was very afraid that he didn't know words or this and that. Donna, I have loose leaves like this. Do you see all these tabs? Lawrence sat for years and wrote dictionaries of words. And then when the time was right, I recognized it. I threw him in with a ladies' book club. I put him in a gray suit with a white collar with a pink tie. And he had gray hair. Lawrence looked like Ralph Lauren. You can see him on the back of the book, right? And I sat him and I threw him and I had dinner. And after dinner, I said, okay, well, we're going to leave. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, this is where you belong right now. And I knew if I would have stayed, we were at the yacht club. It was the ladies. It was the book club meeting. And it was for women. And I put him in and we had dinner. He didn't get it until when the book club was about to start. I took Justin Angel and we excused ourselves because I knew, Donna, with me being there and how forward I am in everything and what I do, I thought he would have been intimidated. So what I did is I removed myself for him to speak of the book that lived inside of him that he wanted to write. When he left that day, he had people that came to him that they were going to LA for the next 5 days for a book workshop and invited him. And he went. And he came home so excited. And he sat down. And that was the result of that whole thing. He kept writing. And every time he wrote a paragraph, he'd say, all right, sit down, read it for me. Because he needed me to read it out loud to him as a writer, for the reader to read it out loud. And I am a very good reader, that he was able to, no, stop. All right, change this, change that. And he had me change it. And it was a great collaboration. I learned so very much. And he was a very smart man. And it is absolutely a blessing to share his book with this country. And when he died, that day it was 4 days before our daughter's 18th birthday when he passed. And I knew I was throwing her a big party at the yacht club for her 18th birthday. And I knew I had to do what I had to do for her. She was going to, it was her day. So I went through party mode. And then that was Sunday. Then that Monday, I took her to school and then I sat down and I sat in the house and I exhaled for the first time. He was gone. And all of a sudden, he was like right in here in my spirit, alive and well. And I'm like, and he's laughing. And I'm like, what are you laughing at? And he's like, think, Victoria, which he always told me to do. Think. And I'm like, party week. He would have never have come to me because I wouldn't have heard him party week when I throw a party. He knew that. So he waited until everything was done. And then we have statues. You might be able to see one above my head up here. There's a couple of them, thinker and a ballerina. And as I sat there, I don't know how long, but he brought me around to every statue. And the first one was the thinker. And I stood there and he said, who am I? And I said, the thinking man, the smartest man I ever knew. Then I went to the next statue and she's a sculpture like this. He said, stand like her. And I did. He said, who are you? I said, I am the good woman that stood behind the thinking man. Then I went to the next statue, which is an Italian violin player. He said, this is my love and romance for you. And then I went to the next statue, who was a ballerina. She's right up there. Hands on the hips, turn your head, and put your feet in position. He's like, do you feel me? And I'm like, yes. He's like, do you feel me? I'm like, yes. I went over to the buffet, and there are all these, like, why would I pull out a silly loose leaf? Okay. I opened it up. It is Lawrence's completed second book. Every chapter has a check mark that he reread. It's ready for me to do what I need to do after he passed. This was after he passed. Then I would have never found that if I didn't stop long enough to feel. And that is my point. We need, as a people, as a country, as an individual, we need to figure out what we stand for, who we are. And then and then things and what we're supposed to do find their way, and so many people are just out there trying to grab their nut, so to say. But maybe that nut that somebody has that I want, that nut isn't mine. So I believe that if we can start opening up dialogue on different platforms, we have a couple of male and female sports. We have you, which is one of my absolute. I am always clicking hello sunshine, morning. I mean, I just
Morning,
love.
sunshine.
I just love it. And everybody says morning sunshine right back to you. But it is those things that unite our voices, and that's why we do what we do. You interview some incredible people, and this platform that we have brings incredible people together to share. And everybody's like, everything has to be done tomorrow. And I'm like, no, I will do it as my spirit unfolds for me to continue. It hasn't let me down yet, and I'm not going to start questioning now, especially because I have never been more peaceful, happy, content, and focused as I am in this time of my life. I mean,
let me ask you a question, and this parallels with this book right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we won the election.
Right.
Okay, so a lot of folks are saying, okay, we're going to be okay as a nation. I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and let the big boy.
No, come back.
Phil is okay. So we're back. I'm not sure what happened. Phil, is the security system off or on? Okay. All right. So we lost you just for a second. So let me ask you a question, because a lot of people are thinking, well, we're going to let everybody else fight the fight now. I went out and I voted and Trump got it, blah, 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 blah. But now it's still going to be a few weeks before Trump takes office. Should we relax now?
Oh, relax. What do you mean by relax? There's no time to relax. First off, we need to gather.
First of all, you and I wouldn't know how to relax.
Really? It's like, relax. No. And even in the country, the news media, it's really interesting because I pulled up the website for the book when you held up the book just to, and it's very interesting that how many years ago the political audience, made up of mostly average people like me, are sick to death of polls and unrealistic percentages of nameless and faceless people.
It's nonsense.
The so-called news media is losing credibility. We do not trust what they say nor the garbage that they are feeding us. If the news media thinks the people are that stupid to believe that a large portion of Americans support a government that is suppressing the people with dictatorial regulations for our own protection, brother, do I have real news for you. Those in the news media and the egotistical elitists drinking their narcissistic Kool-Aid are about to see a counter-revolution to the 1960s revolution. That is one of my favorite. He just knew what was coming. And he says, what the heck is happening to the country we knew? Our countrymen are starting to see the results of decades of national political neglect and now threatens their freedom, liberty, and the Constitution that we live by. He just plainly puts it, out there. And that's what we need to do. There aren't self-help books and how to make a fortune and how to become an influencer no, what we need is for people to get back to who they are, because what this country and what it is doing, it is slowly but surely destroying our moral compass, destroying it. You are allowing things with generations. I had an 11-year-old yesterday that I babysat for that literally corrected me. So I'm sitting there talking. It was something cute. He's 12 years old, excuse me. And I turned around and I said, I had seen one of my girlfriend's sons who I hadn't seen in a long time. And I looked and I went, Jordan? And he said, yeah. He's like, how are you, Miss Victoria? Because they all call me Miss Victoria since they were little. And I said, great. How are you? You know, it was just nice. When he left, I had the 12-year-old with me. And I said, that's my girlfriend's son. And he went, you have a girlfriend? And I went, whoa, little one. Whoa, okay, well, let's backtrack here. Well, if you're gonna say you have a girlfriend, and are you kidding me? So I had to reschool my little 12-year-old yesterday. And also too, because what they don't realize that these, them, those, and they are going to hit the garbage can very soon.
Uh-huh.
This whole circumventing of real speech. I don't care who you are. I am so tired of people telling me that they are coming and I prepare enough for a they and it's two people. And I'm like, why would you tell me? You're coming with all of them. Who is them? This is not a them.
Okay, so I got someone, and I want to ask your opinion of this. Okay, so AOC, who has been one of the forerunners of the pronoun nonsense.
Guess where they're going.
So now she wants to be called a she now. Now, after
you know why?
Browbeating of all of us to make sure that we accommodate everybody, whatever their sexual orientation is or whatever. If you don't know what you are, man, dog, boy, cat, whatever. Okay, so now she's decided she wants to be a she. What does that tell you?
What tells me is that if you can't beat him, join him. She can't beat Trump. She can't beat we the American people, bottom line. And do you see where they're trying to put her? What is it, like the ethics committee or something? They're trying to put her on. I mean,
that'll be a good one.
Did you see? I was like, they're going to do what? Put her where? Oh, no.
Okay, first of all, people need to be qualified for jobs anymore. You remember back in the old days where, we used to own a Snelling franchise. It's Snelling and Sons, a personnel service. And so I was a headhunter and I enjoyed it. Oh, it was so much fun. I would help people get jobs and all this kind of stuff. But I didn't want to look stupid to the companies. So I would actually interview people to make sure they were what they said they were.
100.
Background checks. I would do credit checks. I would do all the stuff that I had to do to make sure they had the right person for the right job. Because I didn't want to look stupid. You send somebody out there and they're nothing like they say they are. So what happened to those days? Is that not important to have the right person for the right job?
No. And you know that this has been due to diversion, equity. You don't have to be. As long as you fill a quota, it doesn't matter if you can fill. And that's one of my biggest points. You want to know what my biggest point about what you just discussed? They have put people across this country at the city and mayoral level that are incompetent of doing their jobs. And they did that by plan because they did the first run through with Black Lives Matter and saw how weak all the cities could be. Some of the precincts even closed up and went home, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Summer of Love. No. That was to test the waters. That's what that was. And let me tell you, George Soros has done a very good job across this country destroying and putting people who are unqualified. How about that whole one in Georgia? Did you see her on the stand? How dare you, you arrogant woman? How dare you sit there and talk? How dare you? That's our judicial system. And that was my point to the beginning of this. If we can have people in power doing what they're doing, how do we expect a 12-year-old to have respect? How do we expect? How? That woman sat there. That was the sorry. I do not like chuckle politics or arrogance. There is no humility, and that's what we've got to get back to. Mm-hmm. We have got to get back to, and that's why I love Trump. Because right now, let me tell you something. In 2016, if there was anything on this president, they would have found it then. Everything from that point on has been a setup and BS to try to take him down. And the sooner this country realizes it, the sooner we can get our heads out of our butts and take back what is rightfully ours. Because if we wait much longer, we are going to have a generation that is uneducated in the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and their own Bill of Rights. So we need shows like the Newscaster Studio and Donna's Edge. We need people having other people on to have time to talk about issues that need to be exposed. I am so tired of going on the news and there is really no news. You just get headline this, headline this, headline this 16 times a day. And I don't want to know why I am watching a movie on Fox or why I am watching. No. Why is there not enough cable news to be going 24/7? There should be something brand new across this country to report upon. Seriously.
There should be. It's a big country.
It's a big country.
In my little small town in Alabama, I promise you, I could have a different story just every few minutes, just in the state of little Alabama.
But that's my point. My point in building this company was to give real people. I mean, you consider one of my biggest, if I could ever find somebody to run a school board, I would like to have a channel called Take Back Your School Boards. And then every school board members and parents can be in one channel and they can rein it in, because as long as they keep us divide and conquer, that's their motto. No, we need to unite. That's what we need to do. Mm-hmm. And that's why this company is what it is, to unite voices. We have to. When I'm sitting here and listening to children sitting in my chair, they don't know anything. They don't know anything. And it's not that I'm angry, and I'm not blaming these children anymore. I am not blaming them. I am blaming my generation. I am blaming our lack of focus. Did my generation go on enough trips? Did we do enough things? Did we pay enough nannies while our children were growing up? And serious. And then on the other side of the coin, when you didn't have money, you weren't there to raise your children anyway because you had to work 2 and 3 jobs. So bottom line is the neglect comes from both sides.
Yeah,
it isn't neglect because you were there. And
you want to know who raised the kids?
It's neglect. It's generational neglect. That's what I call it.
Married with Children, that stupid sitcom. Oh. Then you had The Simpsons. You had all these stupid shows where the men were stupid and the women were just running all over the place.
No, if you remember, they made Daddy an idiot for a decade. They made Daddy an idiot.
I don't like that.
Neither did I. It destroyed the family. It destroyed it destroyed it. Are you kidding? And then you're going to have Daddy who lives in this room and Mommy's new husband is in here. Are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. No, we did this. I remember when I was a child, Lucy and Desi weren't even in the same darn bed. Mm-hmm. Okay? I mean, there were twin beds across with an end table in the middle. Nightstand in the middle. I mean,
there are certain things about, even back in the 1950s and 60s, certain things about shows that used to drive me absolutely nuts. And I'm just going to talk about this. It's like the way they wanted to steer us all to act and all to be. Okay, so let's look at the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Okay, so Donna Reed, and it's a beautiful movie. I love the movie. It's one of we have to see it every single year. But this is something I thought was incredibly stupid, even when I was a kid watching this. Okay, it's mom. She's at home. She doesn't have blue jeans t-shirt on. She's in a dress. It's just the kids and just the hubby there. Okay, He comes in. He knows he's in trouble, blah, 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 blah. She's up on a ladder in high heels, putting stuff on the Christmas tree. And even then I was like, are we supposed to wear high heels?
I painted the whole outside of my building on a ladder in high heels. I put up my Christmas tree. I do everything, and I'm sorry. And
if you want to do it, go for it.
I have permanent Barbie feet. Okay. I am always I dance musical theater dancing in a 4-inch pump. Okay.
You won't do. With that said, we've got to go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a minute. You high heel Barbie. We'll be right back.
High heel Barbie. Yeah, Barbie feet. Like this.
Okay. We went a little bit past, but that's okay.
That's all right. I'm going to text Clint, so don't go anywhere. But I got to text him. I'm going to be late.
Okay. already? Well, I got two things of zinc and vitamin B, and Mother needs one for the bottle to be.
Is that what you're taking now?
Yes. Since we because in the summertime I'm never sick.
Right.
But I'm outside all the time.
Right.
And so anyway, we've got to do something because I can't go through all winter with this. Okay. See, I'm an outside girl. I want to be outside right now. Did you take it out there? She saw it.
Hanging on the screen.
Hmm.
ravioli.
No green leaf. No.
Donna, it would
There.
not let me in.
Huh.
It took me everything to go all the way out to go back to.
Well, you know why? Because we're trying to make a point, and we're beating against the wind, but I don't.
But you want to know something? We ain't giving up.
No,
We're not giving up.
No.
We are not giving up.
I don't have enough sense to know when to stop. I'm one of
right.
those.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. I don't have enough. I don't have enough common sense to know when to stop.
No, actually, we have the common sense. We don't have their sense is to stop when they want us to.
Correct.
And we're not gonna.
I get it. I love it.
We ain't gonna.
No, we ain't gonna.
Okay. Let me let the next guest know that we're running just a little bit behind.
Yeah, I just did that with Clint too, so he said okay.
Okay. Let me find her. Okay, let's see.
Wow.
Okay. All right. That'll give us a little bit of time, so I think she's going to be okay with that. Okay. I think that's got everything the way I need it. Yeah, I don't want us to have to feel rushed. Okay. All right, we've got about 25 minutes left in this segment.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to go out so Phil will know what I'm doing. Okay, so here we go. I'm out. I'll wait just a few seconds. Okay. And we're back. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Central, as I get right home with you in the afternoon. It's my favorite time of the day to get to be with you. Continue sending emails, Donna@DonnasEdge.com. That's Donna@DonnasEdge.com. Yeah, if you want the truth and you want a couple of ladies who are just going to give it to you unvarnished, and they're just going to show you what the wood really looks like, you're watching the right show today. I've got Scott with me right now. It doesn't matter if I'm from Alabama and she's from California. Okay.
I'm a transplant from New York. But you know what we were talking before, and as I was doing some, going back and thinking, when Lawrence and I, what was most important to him when he wrote this book. And you had asked me about the difference, from where we were to where we are now. And in the book, Lawrence wrote, but first he writes, but first to do so, the people need to completely understand the years of conservative silence that attributed to this spiritual decay. Years after I served my country with the Army Corps of Engineers, I found myself compelled to write a book pointing out the reader where and why America went wrong, which started most of the deep-rooted problems. America should face the dragon of liberalism and truly understand what actually politically transpired in the 1960s. These ideals used in this book are spoken from a war veteran's point of view, as it pertains to the political hoax portrayed on the people that has not yet been faced. Once understood, it will light a new way of the future. Could there be anything more truthful than what he said there, is that the truth has to be exposed. And that's what he tried to do. And that's why I knew it was so very important to make sure he was a published author, because he knew exactly what was coming at us and he wasn't going to be here. So I was compelled to make sure that his words were written and put in this book. And it's interesting because that's what we're so far away from, exactly what he talked about. This isn't necessarily right now. What we're not realizing, like he says, from the 1960s, there was a political change there. When Lyndon Johnson cut off the funding for the Vietnam War, what all of those hippies and everybody in the 1960s, yes, they were about love and peace, and and Hendrix and and Joplin, and that would be a good karaoke song for you to do while your voice is like that, by the way. So but my point is that when they cut off the funding, all of those lovable hippies, one of their main signs that really goes unnoticed, and which they chanted quite a bit, was "Down with the establishment." Now, what did that exactly mean? Well, what it meant was, because they couldn't change it, that's when the money was cut off from the Vietnam War. The hippies at that time had to make a decision what they were going to do. And what did they do? They became our professors, and they went in, and academia wound up changing the narrative for the future is what we see today. And it has changed really fast. But that's why it's so important that at this time we start realizing, we go back and we look at what transpired so we can see. I mean, there are a lot of dead bodies around. I mean, our government, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, even look at that statistic poll. It's about, 400 and something for drunk driving, 300 and something. And you ask, is this NFL or no, this is Congress. I mean, I don't know if you ever saw that poll, but it's like people in Congress who've been charged with DUIs, with wife beating, with tax evasion.
Just the people in Congress?
These are all hundreds. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's what I'm saying. Just before we went to the break, that this country has been destroyed at the mayoral level. And there are people that have been put in positions in seats, just like AOC. I'm sorry, but she was placed and groomed and put there. I even called it when Obama was placed and groomed. You remember Bob Gavoyevich had to go to jail in order for that Chicago seat to open up so Obama could sit in that seat, and then Hillary Clinton can be given, oh, you can't be president yet. We're going to wait another cycle for you, Missy, but we'll make you Secretary of State. Okay, so we'll keep you in the fold. All right? And then when she was supposed to come up, it didn't work out that way.
Yeah, but you know something? I remember social studies, and I loved social studies. Now, this is back when you had to memorize the preamble. You had all these things you had to do in school. Oh, by the way, we also had to memorize a Bible verse in school. And it was not a Christian school, just a regular public school I went to when I was a kid. Okay, so anyway, so we had to memorize all these things, and I still remember those. So first of all, it's just good to try to memorize things, keep the old brain exercised, keep it going. So why do they not offer this now in schools? Why do kids not know what the preamble is?
And I'll tell you why. Because they have raised this generation differently. Now, my daughter is only 27 years old. I was a very, very, very active parent in schooling from right until her second year of college, when I looked at her and I said, I think it's time you get a driver's license. Okay. Mommy's tired of driving you and picking you up since kindergarten. Okay. So my point being is that we have this generation now, their thinking is just different, Donna. They haven't been given that food for thought. Everything is just in their own bubble. It's not outside their bubble. And I truly believe that now we're starting to see the consequences from this. You and I, all right, so let's take, for instance, my daughter. Now, Justin Angel, I could sit there forever holding up flashcards. Forever. Like a deer in headlights. Could not get it. Until put it to music. She learned multiplication in about an hour. To music. That's the thing is, they're shoving them the way that they think they have to learn, but they don't have the freedom to learn it their own way. They have to go on the computer and learn it this way. That same thing with Common Core. When I looked at Common Core, I'm like, what are you, crazy? Just minus this, and here's your what are you doing?
What's the
What are you
point?
doing? So yeah, and that's exactly it. So they don't have that. And it was funny too, because not only that, but in history, Justin Angel, we put it to music. There is a song that she learned that gives you every state and then the capital of every state. Then there's another song that she was, and to this day, my point is that she can sing them all to this day. All right. She learned these. She's 27. She learned these in elementary school. And then the other one she learned the presidents in order in a song. So each child, they learn differently. And my point is that the classrooms and they treating every child. So they're confusing them. They're putting in their brains conformity. And on the other hand, they're telling them they can be a girl or they can be a boy. Now,
Good little soldier.
if
Good
this
little
isn't
soldier.
totally confusing to raise it, I do 9, 10, 11, 12. My salon is built from kindergarten to college till the time they get married. So I'm watching what's happening here. And the thing is we are not giving them the tools that they need. We are, and now we're getting away from where, remember, they all got a trophy for participating. Well, that kind of went because we realized when they got to college, they couldn't get in college because it's not a participation sport. Unless they were a boy who wanted to be a girl, then they could go in the swim team and then they could go to the Olympics. But as far as normal everyday children go.
Okay. I got to say this. Okay, my dad probably raised me the wrong way. It was just like, okay, so I would be, that's why I've got the flu right now and I have this show. Okay, because the way I was raised, and because what he would do, I would say, I think I'm sick. And he would just do like this. You don't have a fever, get up, go to school.
Right.
So, I mean, that's how we were raised. You just got up and you little buttercup, go on to school.
But that's not what we did. The generation that was raised, I mean, I'm guilty, but I did mine consistently. So the pattern I set was achieved. Now, Justin Angel started kindergarten. From kindergarten through fifth grade is in one school. She had her canopy, closed her in every night, and every morning opened her up, windows and a song. That's what I do. I turn down beds and I open. Okay. So every morning from kindergarten to fifth grade, I would wake her up with a tray with her breakfast. And I would feed her breakfast in bed. And I'd open up as she woke up and ate her curtains and her windows. And the clothes were always laid out the night before. And in the morning, you can only change one piece because we ain't doing this before school. I know it might not seem now in kindergarten, but by seventh grade, I'm not fighting with you. So we're going to handle this now. Okay. Mm-hmm. You pick out your outfit. And in the morning, I understand we're women. We have a change of mind. You can change one piece. Okay. That's it. We're not doing a whole ensemble. But the point is, when she got to fifth grade, so when she got to sixth grade to eighth grade, which was middle school, then what I did is, then I woke her up. Her shower was running and her breakfast was on the table. Now she had to get up, shower, get herself ready, get to the table and eat breakfast because I drove her to and from school every day. So this is the way I said. Now that worked. Now when she got to high school, she got woken up with her alarm. She got up, she showered, she ate her breakfast, and she was in the car ready to go to school. And I never had a fight. I didn't fight. We didn't do this. We did spelling words on the way to school. You learn the spelling words by Friday and have your test. We start on Monday. By the time Friday comes, she's already learned it by the time we got to the stop sign because she knew we would do something fun after school on Friday. But the point is that I never even took that for granted. At Friday, she would forget. And I'm like, oh, no, we got to go. We got to go to the store. We got to do, and I would make sure. But it's those things, Donna, that led to her trusting me. And that's what we're missing. We're missing a generation where children they're not trusting their parents. They're not trusting adult. They're not trusting anything that's being said to them. They're not even trusting. Look at the concerts that these young kids are sitting at. These children are getting indoctrinated through music, through sounds, through vibes in these concerts that are terrible. Why would a parent take your child to these satanic concerts? Every one of them contain things that are just destroying your child. And yet, oh, she just loves Taylor Swift. Good luck with that. But my point being is, we're not fighting back enough to change them. We are allowing our children to tell us what they want. I, for one, take one. When you're sitting in my chair, I don't care if you're an adult or if you're a child. You on your phone, I step away. And then my clients will say, no, keep cutting. I'm not when you're on your phone. No, I will not cut you. Because all of a sudden, if something happens, I've had a child jump where I got a sharp scissor. I could have stabbed you right in your neck. I turned around. I said, that's it. You have woken me up for everybody. So I will step away. No, I'll wait till you finish your call. If that's that important, or no, you're playing a game. Why don't you go sit over there? Let me do my next client. When you're done playing the game, then I'll do your hair. No, I'm not doing this.
Okay, I'm going to say something that's pretty profound. The reason you had success with your daughter, and by the time she was in high school, she was able to get dressed and go on to school with no fights, that kind of thing. Maybe it was because you were actually being the parent.
100%.
That blows people's minds.
100%.
The parent needs to be the parent, not the kid. There are too many
100%. To this day, my daughter's 27 years old. To this day, if I go like this, you know what that means? She stands 2 feet in front of me right here, feet together, hands at her side, looking up at me and going, yes, mommy. To this day, she will do. If I do this, that means I need your undivided attention right here. Mm-hmm. That's what we're not holding them accountable. We're allowing them. I watched it. I am up the street. I do elementary school, middle school, high school, and college right here. All of them. I've watched them all. I have watched our high school go from when my daughter went to high school, the woman would sit when they got in, and if the shorts were too shorts, they had to go put on somebody else's in the lost and found, or your parent had to bring you another pair. Now, they don't even now, you had to do toes closed shoes because there's 5,000 students on slippery stairs. No. Flip-flops. They have now made their school colors in pajama bottoms and hoodie sweatshirts. You tell me, if these children are rolling out of bed and rolling into there, where are they going to roll when they get out?
Okay, this is something
there is no accountability.
Okay, I'm hearing business owners talk about they'll have somebody come in for a job interview, and their parents come with them.
I had that. Did I share that with you? Not just recently. A young man walks in with his father. First of all, his hair's all disheveled. His father walks in and he says, "Yeah, he's looking for a job." And I said, "Who?" He said, "My son." I said, "So you're walking your son in here and asking me for a job for him? Is that what you're doing?" I said, "Well, does he have a hairdressing license?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, then he doesn't do me any good." And then I said, "Well, let me give you a bit of advice. First off, do you see your hair? First off, you should comb it before. Second of all, Daddy, you should wait outside while he goes in for the job. You are walking in here and you are asking me for a job for your son who's sitting here in a hair salon looking like a train wreck. Are you kidding?" I told him, I said, "Next door is a restaurant, but I think you should go home and shower and do your hair before you go next door and ask him for a job."
Good idea. Okay.
His father walked him into my salon. And I'm looking at it, and I'm literally calling the father out. I had no sympathy. I'm looking at him going, "Are you kidding me? Why are you walking in here and doing this for him? Are you kidding me?"
Okay, this is when I knew we were really in trouble. Okay, I already had suspicion something wasn't quite right about the earth here, but when COVID hit, right, and you saw all these crazy commercials, they were sending us commercials from the government, whatever, to teach people how to wash their hands when they use the bathroom. Why is that even? I mean,
didn't every child learn in kindergarten to sing "Happy Birthday"? And that's all you need to do. And that's how we learned to sing "Happy Birthday" to yourself.
I said,
And that's sufficient. Happy birthday is sufficient for washing your hands with soap and water.
okay, so yeah, but you got to imagine this. Okay, here's Phil and I were running the station. Okay, so we get this thing from the government. It's an MP3 to be aired on the radio station, and it's about how to properly wash your hands after you. They didn't say restroom; they called it something else, sanitary or something. So I'm listening to it, thinking it's got to be a joke of some sort. Everybody knows how to wash their hands after they go to the bathroom. Everyone knows how. And so Phil listens to it, and he said, "No, I've heard that's what they're wanting to do. We've got to educate people on how to wash their hands when they go there." And I'm just like, "Come on, man! Are you serious? Like we're on this campaign now?"
That's exactly right.
This is our next campaign. Let's teach people. And then I started noticing things. I started noticing, like going to a public. I don't even go to a public restroom anymore. I don't want to.
Yeah.
So, but I started noticing women would go in, do their thing. I would be washing my hands. They'd go in, just walk it out. I'm not talking about young people. I'm talking about older women too.
I know.
Who were doing that. And then I was just like, hold it. And I'll tell you what I had to do one time. My slip was kind of screwing up on me. So I actually went to the restroom to fix my slip. I didn't have to use the bathroom. But anyway, there was a woman out there washing her hands, and I thought, well, I didn't use bath. I don't want her to think I'm a nasty person. So I just went on bed and started washing my hands, like that, because I really cared what the other person was thinking. Even though that's not what I did. I had to fix my slip.
We're so conditioned, and that's the thing. We need people to find their own individual voice again, because I truly believe, when my young people ask me, and my biggest advice to young people is this: take an issue, any issue, transgenderism, gay, I don't care what it is. Take an issue and sit with yourself. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to listen to anybody, but ask yourself how you feel. How do I feel about transgenders? And sit there long enough until you can answer yourself. And when you start answering these questions in yourself, slowly but surely, you become more of the human being you are meant to be, because now all these little minor birds and chatterboxes in you become one cohesive belief. And that belief comes from who and what you want to bring forward. But if we're sitting there and we've got confusion, where we've got, the same thing too, what you talked about the city. Well, how about the city comes into my salon? I have one bathroom, and the city man is fighting with me because I have to put up a circle with a blue triangle. That shows my bathroom that it is a transgender bathroom. And I'm fighting with them saying, I'm not putting up that sign. I have one bathroom. Anybody can use it. I don't need to distinguish my bathroom.
I don't see the point in your having to do that. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
And the city, I'm telling you, they're going to fine me if I didn't. So I said, you know what? Keep yours. I made mine and I put mine. So I'm not putting yours up, but you're not fining me either. This bathroom, I don't understand why you are taking the time from this city on all the things and the murders and the robberies in this damn city, but yet you're coming in here to tell me that I need a blue triangle sign for my bathroom. It's a one-person bathroom. Why do I have to signify whether male or female? Who cares?
And that's the whole point about all of us. I mean, we care because we want people to go to heaven when they die and all these things right here. But what I'm saying is I don't lose an ounce of sleep because somebody's a transgender.
No, I really we're going back to what we started in this show, what you said, common sense. First off, I have told my young people, you have never had a better point in American history, in world history, where you can dress and be who you want to be. You want to put a skirt on? People might laugh at you, but go put your skirt on. You want to wear combat boots? Put them on. There has never been a better time. So don't sit here and shove down, because I am one that was totally, see this off my shoulder? Well, let's see. I did this back in 1972. The ripped jeans, those were back in the 80s. My knees were out of my jeans. My bottoms were all ruffled. Remember our bell bottoms? We dragged them so much they made their own line, and then you just rip them off after a while. My point is is that they need to find what I wore back then. I remember fighting with my family because I wanted to wear my brother's work boots and a sundress. And I was laughed at. And today it's a fashion statement. I was just ahead of my time. And nobody, but the point is that I didn't let them. I even went to the point where my stepmother took all of my pants away to get me to wear dresses. Okay. I wasn't a dress girl. I wasn't. But when the 80s came and the big hair and disco, oh, girl, I couldn't sparkle in my dresses more. You didn't let me be. That's the difference when I raised my daughter, Donna. I let Justin Angel be. I gave her things, but she had to choose. She danced 5 days a week, but she didn't have to do water polo because she didn't want to. Justin Angel wasn't a team sport player. And I learned that my daughter, don't shove her on a soccer team. Don't shove her because that's not where she's happy. Put her on a stage with dances. Let her tap her little toes. There's where my daughter's happy. There's where 5 days a week from the time she was 3 years old through college. My daughter did a piece, her college final piece, Donna, was about her illness. She put me in the front seat. It started with 3 people, me, her father, and her were portrayed. She directed and produced it. It was about her illness, the music, the choreography. I was blown away. That's because what it showed me is that no matter what she went through her whole life, I was a constant. And that's why God didn't make us all as individuals. He made us family because it is our job. Whether we're handed a good hand or a bad hand, our job when we're gifted with a child is to teach them, to give them, and to love them, to create who they are. I thought when I had Justin Angel at 40, Lawrence was 50, him and I born the same day. I just thought I was going to have the perfect little Victoria. Blonde, she was going to be bald till she's about 4, blonde hair, blue eyes. I had it all set. Justin Angel was born. Lawrence brings it to me in the delivery room, full head of black hair, green eyes. And I looked at him and I'm like, who's that? He's like, it's our daughter. But my point is, from that moment, my spirit just knew that this was no longer about me. This was about me giving this little life who is her own. I have allowed my daughter. It was just this holiday season as we walked through Scary Farm at 27 years old, my daughter grabbed my hand and thanked me for all that I did when she was growing up. Thanked me for my time, because the one thing our children want is our time. And if you want to know why she is the woman that she is today, it's because I gave her my time and I allowed her to be. Mm-hmm. When she was little, if I was doing the dishes, I was not the mommy that said, wait till I'm done. Turn the water off, dry my hands, and what do you need? What do you need? Yes. We had her much older, so it was easier to have the patience for her. We did. And that's why, and what I tell a parent, when I see them with a little one, I said, the best thing you can do is your time. Give them your time. Teach them to be who they are. Does anybody not realize from 0 to 3, they'll be who they are?
They will.
You want to raise a brat from 0 to 3, you got it.
You got it. Victoria, we got to call it a day. Can you believe it?
Well,
an hour's already gone by. Thank you so much.
I remember your voice wasn't up and you told me to take up most of your time. And you know, I'm never lost for words. So
you're so shy. You're so shy.
I'm shy. I'm so shy.
Thank you for being with me. And also thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a super duper awesome rest of the blessed day today. Okay, Victoria, hang around. I got to get you set for next month.
You got it. Thank you so much, Donna.